Hey guys, I'm Dennis. Welcome to my channel Guide with a Plant. In today's plant spotlight episode, I'm going to show you my Philodendron Atabapoense. So I got this philodendron a few months back, and it was already a pretty decent size specimen. It grew some new leaves under my care. This is the latest one, so it's really very tender. And I think this is another one that was new, still pretty small. But the rest of the leaves are quite big. But of course, this is still not a mature size specimen yet. It has not reached its potential. It can get really big and the leaves to be really long. What I really like about this philodendron is its sword-like shape, really elongated, and that is reminiscent of the much coveted Spiritus Sancti. Or at least that's what most people say, that this is actually a dupe or a poor man's Spiritus Sancti. But I think this is really beautiful in its own right. Look at this very neon lime green mid-rib, and if you look closely, there's actually a reddish trimmings around the edge of the leaf. Sometimes it's mistaken as the Philodendron biliaceae, but that's a totally different species. I mean, it is a philodendron, and sometimes they are crossed to create another hybrid. Ooh, check out the roots. So I used to have single leaf cutting, which somebody gave me for free, but I killed that with my excessive underwatering. Well, look at all the aerial roots that are screaming to be given a pole so that it can start climbing. This is a climbing philodendron, so in nature it will climb out a tree or some surface, and it will start to give itself bigger leaves. So this is an epiphytic plant that likes to climb. In nature, this is found in the Amazonian forests of Venezuela and Brazil. So that means when it comes to humidity, of course it will prefer a little bit on the higher side, but I noticed that this is actually pretty easy. What I do is I will do mist it almost every day, just to give it a little bit better humidity. I have moved to a new place. The humidity is not ideal yet, but sometimes, or rather it has been raining for the past few days, so the humidity gets a little bit better. It can hit 70% on certain days, but on a hot afternoon I get humidity that is below 40%, and but this is still doing okay, so I don't think it's really fussy when it comes to humidity. But a little bit higher is always a bonus for these philodendrons. When it comes to watering, like most philodendrons, they don't like to be overwatered. But as you know, watering is something that you got to consider other factors, like the potting medium, the amount of light you're giving it, and even the pot, the type of pots you're using. So under my conditions, I water this about once every 7 days, weekly. But on certain days that is really very hot, I will water it more frequently if I see the potting medium drying out quickly. Okay, so for light, this gets pretty bright but very indirect light. The sun rays will never hit the leaves, because if you give it something that is too strong, I noticed that the leaf will turn a little bit yellow, very chlorotic, so it's not advisable to give it something that is overly bright. I think even medium light will do, but of course it may not grow as robust. So yeah, bright indirect light, filtered light, will be ideal for its dark green colored leaves. If you give it direct sun, it might just burn the leaves. So it's currently sitting in this mixture of very airy potting medium with a lot of perlite, cocoa chips, and as well as some cocoa peat, I think, to retain some moisture. So this, after watering, this medium will remain moist for at least 4 to 5 days under my condition. So I would try not to overwater this. But the good thing is, it's sitting in this plastic net pot that has a lot of aeration, a lot of cutoffs here. So yeah, I'm not that worried. Oh, another new growth here. The pied de resistance will be the back of the leaves. Check out all these sexy maroon colored backs of the leaves. Really beautiful. So as usual for fertilizing, I like to use a slow release fertilizer because it's so hassle-free. I will just put them in and not worry about it for the next 3 months. When after that, I will just add on accordingly. But I also like to use a liquid fertilizer, super diluted, during every watering or alternate waterings. And this seems to work well for this philodendron. Be careful not to over fertilize it. If not, then the leaves will start to get fertilizer burn. This philodendron seems to be pretty pest resistant. I have not seen any pests on it at all. Not even spider mites. Yeah, you get those pesky spider mites on those more velvety soft philodendrons, but this one is pretty okay. I don't get any infections, bacteria or fungal infections as well. I've not propagated this because this is still relatively new in my collection. But I think it should be pretty easy, like most philodendrons, to be propagated from stem cutting with a node, a viable node in water. I think it should root pretty fast. Or you can also propagate by division. If there's another branch of the plant that is growing, you can just cut it up and you have 2 plants. Yeah, what I need to do for this guy is to give it a moss pole, and I really want those huge leaves. So yeah, that is something in my to-do plant list, plant chores. So overall, this is a very easy philodendron. Highly recommended because I think it's really underrated. It's so interesting. Yeah, don't spend all those money on Spiritus Sancti. I mean, unless you have a lot to burn. But I think this is equally gorgeous, right? So thank you for watching this episode of Plant Spotlight. If you like more contents like that, let me know what other plants would you like to see. If it's my collection, yeah, I may just do a review. Meanwhile, take care, be safe, and I shall see you again in my next episode. Remember to show your plants some love.